Well, well, well. Hello to the BFOD squad. Welcome back, my fellow babies, to Barrel Full of Daryl. Now on episode 48. Man. So if you're new to this podcast, welcome. This is the place where I discuss music, movies, and I come up with some other funky ass shit to relate to you. So if you're ready, let's go. Last week I gave you the movie quote. Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. I hope you all knew that one. Oh my God. Yeah, that's from Pulp Fiction. Great movie. Here's a song lyric for you to ponder. Desmond has a barrow in the marketplace. Can you name that song? I'll leave it with you. Excuse me. Let's talk about some music. Music. Okay. You're probably familiar with the English band Genesis. Yeah? Well, they were formed in 1967 with quite a rotating membership. Now, the longest lasting and most successful lineup consisted of a trio with Tony Banks on keyboards, Mike Rutherford on guitar, and Phil Collins on drums and the lead vocalist. Now, in the 1970s, the lineup also included guitarist Steve Hackett and singer Peter Gabriel. And they were pioneers of progressive rock, which is basically an artsy-fartsy genre. Yeah. They released several albums with this lineup, and their shows, when they went on tour, they were elaborate and had theatrical costumes and shit. Well, Peter Gabriel left the band in 1974, and Hackett left in 1977, leaving the trio, Banks, Rutherford, and Collins. Now, they became more popular with a pop-oriented sound, and they gained quite a bit of commercial success. They had hits like Follow You, Follow Me, which was their first. Abacab, great song. Gotta love that song. Turn It On Again, Mama, That's All, and Invisible Touch. Now, Phil Collins left the band in 1996, and afterwards, all of the members had a decent solo career, especially Phil Collins. So now I want to shine the spotlight on Peter Gabriel. He was the original frontman for Genesis, and I think they all thought he was kind of a pain in the ass, but he launched his solo career in 1975, and over the next 10 years released 4 studio albums. The kicker is they were all titled Peter Gabriel. That's it, just Peter Gabriel. I remember in college, one of my buddies he was so frustrated by that. He'd go to get the new record, the new Peter Gabriel record. And they're like, well, which one do you want? He's like, their newest one. Now, later on, upon subsequent releases, they did give proper titles or subtitles to the albums. Now, from these 4 albums, he had several hit songs, namely Salisbury Hill, Games Without Frontiers, and Shock the Monkey. Oh, great songs. I recall seeing the music videos for these songs back when MTV was worth watching. Now, Gabriel is quite the showman, and he's the main reason that Genesis had more of a theatrical flavor to their shows. Probably why they didn't like him too. So in 1986, he released his fifth studio album titled So, S-O. Holy shit, what an album. It sold over 5 million copies in the USA alone, and it contained 4 huge hits: In Your Eyes, Sledgehammer, Big Time, and Don't Give Up. The latter is a beautiful ballad, and it's a duet with Kate Bush. Awesome, awesome vocalist. Now, the song Sledgehammer was his first #1 hit, and it regards sexual relations through lyrical innuendos, such as, you could have a steam train if you just lay down your tracks. Also, open up your fruit cage and I will be your honey bee. Yeah. He wants to be your sledgehammer. And wanting to be someone's sledgehammer pretty much alludes to sex, right? Now, he released a music video, awesome, kind of a stop frame video. I highly suggest you watch it. It's very cool. It's on YouTube, free of charge. Now, this music video won 9 MTV awards and was named MTV's #1 animated video of all time. So, Peter Gabriel was nominated for 4 Grammy Awards, including Song of the Year for Sledgehammer and Album of the Year for So. Now, this album is so great from the first song to the last. In fact, my favorites are not the hit songs, although I like them. 3 songs on side 2 of the LP are awesome, and they're headphone worthy. These are Mercy Street, We Do What We're Told, and This Is the Picture. Now, another favorite song of mine it's titled Biko, B-I-K-O. It's from his 3rd album. Now, the song, it's an anti-apartheid protest song, and it's basically a eulogy inspired by the South African activist Steve Biko, who died in police custody in 1977. My favorite lyric in this song goes like this: you can blow out a candle, but you can't blow out a fire. Yeah, that's cool. Now, Gabriel, he's also an activist for many humanitarian causes, and he remains active today. Matter of fact, he just released an album earlier this year. Altogether, he's released 11 studio albums and 4 live ones. He's been nominated for 23 Grammys, and he won 8 of those. One of which is the soundtrack for the movie Passion of the Christ. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame twice, once for Genesis and once for his solo career. He was also awarded an honorary doctoral degree from the University of South Australia in recognition of his musical achievements. He's quite a big thing, and his music has certainly had a big impact on my life. So I've dropped some good tunes on the playlist. Listen to it, especially with headphones if you're not driving. And now a word from our sponsor. I'll be right back. Well, hello there to the Barrel Full of Darrell podcast listeners. My name is Big Tom Beauregard. You may recall I'm the mayor of Scratch Ankle, Alabama, and I'm here talking to you again. You see, I I have a special announcement to make. Many of my townsfolk have sponsored this podcast, and it has brought some much needed attention to our little town. So I would like to honor the podcast creator, Mr. Darrell, with an honorary citizenship and a key to our little beloved town. And it reminds me I got to get a key made. So I'm personally inviting Mr. Darrell to come here and receive this honor in person in Scratch Ankle. I intend to send him an email via BFOD podcast at gmail.com, and hopefully I'll hear back from him post haste. I know everybody here in this little town would like to meet him in person. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and I hope to talk to you again real soon. Bye for now. And we're back. Movie time. Movie. Just last week I stumbled upon this gem of a movie, and it's so worthy of a discussion and much more. Now, the title of this film is Sinners. It was produced, written, and directed by Ryan Coogler. Now, Coogler's past films include the Creed franchise and the Black Panther films. His films have received a total of 29 Oscar nominations and 16 for the movie Sinners, which is the most for any film in history. Now, this is a horror film, but it doesn't seem like it until about halfway through. And I am really torn about giving you spoilers, but it's really unavoidable. I'll keep them to a minimum. So it stars longtime collaborator Michael B. Jordan in dual roles as criminal twin brothers Smoke and Stack. You gotta love that, Smoke and Stack. Nicknames, of course. Now, the setting is 1932, and they are World War I veterans who returned to their hometown, Clarksdale, Mississippi, after spending 7 years in Chicago. And they come back home with a lot of money. And they use these apparently ill-gotten gains to purchase a sawmill, to start up a juke joint for the local black community, along with their cousin Sammy, who plays blues guitar. Let me also say that the music in this movie is outstanding. A lot of good Delta blues and some Irish jigs. Yeah, it's very cool. Now, Sammy, the guitarist, he's a preacher's son who had warned him about the sins of blues music. Begged him not to play. Now, also, it's stated in this movie that blues music is transcendent, and it summons good and evil spirits from both the past and the future. So the brothers get the juke joint all set up, and on opening night, Sammy performs on stage with blues pianist Delta Slim and singer Pearline. Yeah, it's pretty cool because the past and future spirits are drawn to the music, and they appear on the dance floor in various forms, but in invisible forms. The viewers of the movie can see them. The people in the movie cannot. Unfortunately, the music also attracts a small group of vampires. Yeah, that's a spoiler. But these vampires are also musicians, and they seek admission into the joint to join in the music. even saying that they can pay to get in. Now, the twins, Smoke and Stack, they smell something fishy, and they refuse to let them in. But Stack's girlfriend, Mary, knows that they need the money and convinces them to let her talk to them outside to see what they can pay. So Stack relents, and Mary goes out to them and sees that they can pay in gold. But they quickly turn her into a vampire. And she goes back into the joint and she seduces Stack in a back room where she kills him and turns him into a vampire as well. So this is where all hell breaks loose. So there's like 40 people in this joint, okay? And they all begin to get turned into vampires. It is insane. And it's great. So that's enough spoilers. Time for me to stop here, and I'll say that this is the best vampire movie I've ever seen. I mean, hell, it got 16 Oscar nods, right? Including Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, and Best Actor. Now, the good news for you is it's currently streaming on Prime Video, Hulu, and HBO. I'll let you know it does have somewhat of a happy ending. Yeah, kind of. So give it a watch. Tell them Daryl sent you. Yeah. By the way, if you do watch it, don't turn it off when the credits start to roll, because there's more to come. And the more to come gives it just a hint of a happy ending. Word of the week: neologism. 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 Now, this is a newly coined word or expression that has gained popularity and it's becoming accepted into mainstream language. Words like doom scrolling, mansplain, snowmageddon, and refudiate. Now, refudiate is the words refute and repudiate blended together, and it means to reject. It was first used by Sarah Palin in her 2010 campaign for vice president of the USA, and it became very popular. And it also became Oxford American Dictionary Word of the Year. Refudiate. But in psychiatry and neuroscience, the term neologism is used to describe words that have meaning only to the person who uses them, independent of their common meaning. Now, this can be seen in schizophrenia, where a person may replace a word with a nonsensical one of their own invention, like in this sentence. I got so angry I picked up a dish and I threw it at the Gelsinger. Gelsinger, yeah. Now, the use of neologisms may also be due to a language disorder acquired after brain damage resulting from a stroke or a head injury. Pretty cool. Neologism, refudiate, doom scrolling. Joke of the week. What did one casket say to the other casket? Was that you coughing? Question of the week. Now, last week I asked, why do human brains have lobes? And why do they have folds? So they have folds. I'm sorry, they have lobes. And they're basically task management, these lobes. They're specialized and it provides efficiency. But they are interconnected. Now, the main lobes are the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, I think I said that right, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, and the occipital lobe. Now, the frontal lobe, that's for your thinking, planning, problem solving, personality, voluntary movement, and speech production. Now, the parietal lobe is for processing sensory information like touch, pain, temperature. It's also for spatial awareness and language comprehension. Now, the temporal lobe, that's the ones on the side of your head. Temporal, like your temples. They're for hearing, memory, language understanding, and emotional regulation. The occipital lobe sits in the very back of your brain, and it's for visual processing and recognition. Yeah, what goes into your eyes travels all the way to the back of your brain, to the occipital lobe. Cool. Now, I also asked, why does the brain have folds? Primarily so it'll fit into the human skull. It's an evolutionary thing. Evolutionary wise, there was rapid expansion of the brain. And there's rapid expansion during development. Okay. So the folds increase surface area. They also reduce the amount of wiring in the brain, shortens the physical path that neurons have to travel to connect, and enhance cognitive function, gives you better reasoning and increased processing speed. That's some cool stuff, man. We are all evolutionary miracles. By the way, all mammals' brains have lobes, and some mammals' brains have folds, mostly the larger mammals.
That blows my mind.
New question of the week. What's the difference between a coffin and a casket? What's the difference between a coffin and a casket? Thought of the week. Thought of the week. This is a good one. I heard this in the movie Caught Stealing that I've recently discussed. And it goes like this. If you cannot bite, never show your teeth. Now, this is a Yiddish proverb, and it means don't make threats or act aggressive if you aren't prepared to back up your words with action. If you can't, it's a sign of weakness or foolishness, and you lose your credibility. Now, this emphasizes that you should only challenge situations that you're capable of handling. In other words, don't start a fight that you know you can't win. Not necessarily a physical fight. Okay? So then, don't forget about the playlist that I got floating out there. Super long, super enjoyable. It's fun making that playlist for you, selecting those songs. Hope you're enjoying them. Now, if you have an itch to reach out and contact me for some reason, you can hit the little send me a text button in the episodes, or you can send me an email at bfodpodcast@gmail.com. And lastly, don't forget that the podcast, it has an option for you to support the show monetarily. I know you support it every week by listening to it. I really appreciate that. If you feel charitable and want to subscribe and send me a few dollars every month, that'd be great too. So, that's it for this week's episode. I hope you learned something, and I hope you enjoyed it. A little entertainment along the way. And I'll be back with you next week. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.